Have you ever noticed yourself imagining a conversation that never even happened? Maybe you were walking alone or lying in bed or just sitting by yourself. And suddenly your brain starts building a completely detailed scene. Sometimes you're the hero impressing the girl you always wanted, and she actually gets impressed. You're winning some competition, arguing with someone, explaining something in detail, or imagining a future moment that feels completely real. And the interesting thing, you know what? Whatever you want, that's exactly what happens. Or you're imagining a moment where someone finally understands you. But the reality is, the emotions feel real too. You can feel excitement, anxiety, anger, or relief from a conversation that only exists in your mind. Let me tell you something. If this happens to you, then at some point you must have wondered, why do I keep imagining scenarios that have no connection to reality? But psychologically, this behavior is actually not as uncommon as people think. And this isn't just random imagination. In most cases, it's actually your brain trying to solve some deeper things.
Scenario 1. Your brain actually can't fully tell the difference between something that really happened and something you imagined very deeply. When you replay a fake conversation with so much emotion and detail, your brain processes it almost like a real memory. Your chest tightens, your mood changes, you feel frustrated or excited or relieved from something that never even happened. Psychologists call this the emotional reality of imagination. The event is fake, but the emotional response is completely real. And this is exactly why this habit becomes addictive, because you too can't live without it, especially when you're lying in bed. Because your brain starts connecting imagination with emotional satisfaction. You imagine a scenario where you say the perfect thing. Brain releases a little dopamine. It feels good. It feels resolved. And the brain learns, if you want to feel better, just imagine. Over time, this becomes a loop, a quietly running, invisible addiction that most people never even recognize in themselves.
Scenario 2. Now this is where psychology gets interesting. This habit doesn't develop equally in everyone. Research shows that the people who become most addicted to imagining fake scenarios have some specific psychological traits. The first trait is high emotional sensitivity. These are people who feel things deeply. One small thing someone says can stay in their mind for days. A small conflict doesn't just pass, it gets replayed, analyzed, looked at from every angle again. And because the real situation felt unresolved, the brain creates imaginary versions where resolution finally arrives. The second trait is a deep need for control. Real life is unpredictable. People don't respond the way you want them to. Conversations don't go the way you planned. But inside your imagination, you are the writer, the director, and the main character. Everything happens exactly the way you need it to. For people who feel powerless in certain areas of their life, imagination becomes that one place where they feel completely in control. And the third trait, and this usually surprises people, is above average intelligence. People who repeatedly simulate scenarios in their minds are often highly analytical thinkers. Their brain is always running in the background, processing possibilities, predicting outcomes. This same mental ability makes them a good strategist or creative problem solver. But when this ability has no direction, it just keeps running on its own, building imaginary conversations, imaginary confrontations, imaginary futures. The part that most people skip in psychology videos. Imaginary scenario addiction actually has different types, and each type points towards something different. The first type is rehearsal addiction. Here, a person keeps preparing again and again for conversations that may never even happen. They keep thinking about how they'll explain themselves, how they'll defend their decisions, or how they'll confront someone. This loop never ends because the real conversation never happens. And with each imaginary rehearsal, the real version feels even more frightening. So they rehearse again and again and again. The second type is revenge fantasy loops. Here, the mind keeps returning to situations where someone hurt you, dismissed you, or made you feel small. In real life, maybe you said nothing, but in your imagination, you have the perfect response every single time. The psychological truth behind this pattern is that it's actually not about winning. It's about a pain that was never fully processed. The mind keeps returning to that moment because some part of you still wants someone to acknowledge that what happened to you was real and it mattered. The third type is future glory scenarios. Here, someone repeatedly imagines a future version of themselves that is successful, respected, or finally understood. These scenarios seem motivating on the surface, but psychologists have discovered something troubling in this pattern. When people spend too much time imagining their future success, the brain starts to partially accept that imagined version as real. The emotional satisfaction of imaginary achievement reduces the actual motivation for real achievement. You feel like you've already won, so you stop working as hard. The fourth type is the most painful, worst-case spirals. Here, imagination doesn't create fantasy, it creates fear. The mind starts running simulations of everything that could go wrong, a relationship ending, an embarrassing failure, that moment when everyone sees through you. And the brain treats each simulation like a real threat, filling your body with real anxiety about things that haven't happened and may never happen.
So why does the brain do this? What is it actually trying to accomplish? At its core, all these patterns come from the same place: unmet psychological needs. The need to be understood, the need to feel safe, the need to feel respected, the need to feel in control in your own story. When real life consistently doesn't meet these needs, the brain finds a shortcut: imagination. Because in imagination, these needs can always be met right away, without any risk, without rejection, without the messiness of real human interaction. And this is why it truly becomes an addiction, not because something is wrong with you, but because your brain found something that works, something that gives you relief, control, and emotional satisfaction, and it keeps returning there, just like it would return to anything that makes you feel better temporarily. Keyword is temporarily, because it can never give you actual closure. It can never give you real connection. It can never give you the growth that only comes from doing something uncomfortable in real life. Every imaginary argument you win keeps a real wound open. Every imaginary future success reduces your hunger for the real one a little. Every worst-case scenario your mind rehearses trains your nervous system to stay in a mild state of fear. Imagination was meant to be a preparation tool, a place to visit for a little while and then come back to reality. The problem is when it becomes the destination. So what actually helps? The first step is simply to notice, not judge, not try to forcefully stop the thoughts. Just notice, right now, my brain has switched on a simulation. That one moment of awareness interrupts the automatic loop. The second step is to ask an honest question. What need is this scenario trying to meet? Are you imagining that argument because you need to feel heard? Are you imagining that future success because you need to believe things can get better? When you identify the real need, you can start meeting it in real ways. And the third step is the hardest, but most important: taking the imaginary conversation into reality. Not all of them, but the ones that matter. The one you've been rehearsing for months. That person you wanted to talk to. That thing you were too scared to say out loud. Because whatever your brain simulates, it will never be as real, as healing, or as meaningful as actually living it. Your imagination is not your enemy. It is one of the most powerful things about you. But it was never meant to be the place where you live. It was meant to be the place where you prepare. Everything else, those actual moments, those real conversations, that life that surprises you, that happens outside. And that is the only place where something truly changes.